I ended up dropping out of college because it wasn't really concentrated on design. And I made this dress for my 21st birthday, posted it on Instagram, and it was like history from there. So.
Welcome to a new episode of Give You the Game with me, Gia Peppers, on YouTube. Out of all of the pages that exist in the world right now, you came to this one, and I'm so grateful to have your energy and presence here in this moment. Now let's get into the show. I am so grateful to have had this conversation with Anifa Mvuemba. She is the founder and the designing force behind the incredible line called Hanifa. If you don't have a Hanifa piece, honey, you are missing out on life. Truly. Anifa dropped out of college, dropped out of school, and became the game-changing force behind the most successful fashion show of 2020. When we were all in a pandemic, she and her team reimagined what a fashion show would look like from the digital experience. And it changed the game in so many ways that her line was able to influence Prada and so many of the houses that have been around for hundreds of years to do the same thing. Her line is beautiful, her voice is beautiful, her life is beautiful, and her faith is beautiful. But I am just so grateful that we got to get a conversation during the quarantine in 2020 to talk about how she started her line, where she wants it to go, and the legacy behind what she wants to contribute to the fashion world. Check out the conversation and let me know what you think.
You are stunning. I just live for you.
Thank you.
I have on my Hanifa. I just got my Robin in. So I have mine on. And I was like, I had to make sure to wear it because I need to make sure that Anifa knows that I never do anything without Hanifa. But one, I just want to welcome you. Thank you so much for joining me for Free Game Fridays. You have been this year watching your glow up, watching your rise, watching how God is working in your life with Hanifa has been one of the most inspiring things that I've seen in the past, probably in the past decade for fashion and Black women, and the way that you've been able to show up for us and the way that you've been able to create for us. I just want to say thank you and congratulations. Like, you are killing the game.
Thank you so much for the intro. It's been crazy. It's been a mind-blowing year.
Yeah.
Couple of years, actually. God has just really have been doing exceedingly abundantly well. Beyond my expectations. I'm talking about explode. It's like an explosion, honestly. Yeah. And it's really crazy. And I'm just internally grateful. Grateful.
It's so beautiful to see. And for those of you who don't know, I've been wearing Hanifa now for 3 years, 3-4 years.
Yeah, I remember when we first met. It was
I was going to BET Awards, and I was presenting at the BET Her Awards. And my friend Corinne, I think she modeled for you or something. Somebody modeled for you. It might have been Jasmine. Jasmine modeled for you. And then I saw Jasmine in your clothes, and I was like, hold up, that girl is from the DMV, and she's Black, and she's everything I need to support. And I remember wearing your what is the name of that piece? The one the jumpsuit?
It was the pink one.
Yes.
Chris jumper.
Yes, the Chris jumper. And everybody from Lala to Brandy to Angela Rye, everybody in that room was like, wait, who designed that? And I was like, girl, go to Hanifa Official and get you a suit, because it is one of the most, your work, it just takes whatever look you're feeling, however you're feeling, it just elevates it. And so I'm just so proud to even have a little bit of a part of the glow up of Hanifa, because I remember after that, you was out of here. Everybody in America had Hanifa. But let's go back to your origin story, because what we see is the beauty of a product of what you believe in and how you move. But tell me a little bit about the origin story of Anifa, the girl. Where did you grow up? Tell me a little bit about when you knew that fashion was for you.
So I actually originally from Democratic Republic of Congo. I was born in Nairobi, Kenya. Both of my parents are born and raised in Congo. We left Congo. Well, both of my parents left Congo at the time because of the wars that were going on. And we ended up leaving Kenya when I was 3. So I actually moved to DC first when we came to the States in 94. And I pretty much grew up all over Maryland. I used to sketch at a really young age. When I was like 9, I used to sketch a lot of different things. I was like a super creative kid. I remember my dad, you know, when your parents just tell you like little stories about how you were when you were younger. My dad was like, you weren't like a regular kid. You were like weird. And I was like, what do you mean? He was just like, you used to take toys apart, and instead of like playing with stuff, you used to take them apart to just see how they were made, and you would put them back together. And I'm just like, that's so interesting, because I'm always like trying to figure out how things are done, and you know, just, you know, being a creative. But yeah, I've always sketched. I've always been like creative. But it really wasn't until I took a fashion design class in high school. Our institute rep came to my class, and she was telling us all these great things about being a designer. And I was just like, this is it. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I think I've always been fascinated with fashion. You know, just growing up and seeing how my mom, you know, would get dressed, and how she would put on her red lipstick, how she would put on her jewelry, just like all those things inspired me so much. But I really just thought I was going to work for like a magazine. The fashion design thing didn't really come about until high school. I got my first sewing machine. I used to go to like a thrift store. I would like mess with stuff. I would like tailor clothing to fit my body. And then I remember coming home and telling my parents, like, okay, guys, I want to be a fashion designer. And all the Africans in this
I was about to say, how does that
know how African parents are. And my dad was just like, that's not going to make any money. And, you know, just literally they just shut me down. But knowing myself, I ended up going to Morgan State University and studied the fashion merchandising program there. And I ended up dropping out of college because it wasn't really concentrated on design. And I made this dress for my 21st birthday, posted it on Instagram, and it was like history from there. So
wow.
That's really how it started.
Okay. And so then you decide. So I'm assuming that everyone loved the dress, and they're like, "Wait, girl, I want to make one. Can you make me one?" Is that how the inception of Hanifa started, or when did you decide to actually create your first, your first piece for the collection?
Well, so it started. So a lot of people don't know this, but when I started Hanifa, I actually didn't know how to sew. I started taking custom orders, and that's how I taught myself how to sew. So I pretty much did everything from buying books, YouTube videos, like Google, like so many different things. Like I was like determined. I was like, this is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to get it. I'm going to learn how to do this. I remember taking a trip to Istanbul with my mother. I want to say this was like December of 2011. And my mom was the one who really encouraged me to start a brand. And I remember I was trying to figure out what to call this brand. I'm just like, what should I call this brand? And I just started I was like, I want this to be personal. I want this to feel like me. So I started to just kind of do my research. And I was like, I know what my name means, but let me
really look into it.
Let me figure this out. And I started researching my name. I was actually born into Islam, so my father named all his children. He gave us all Arabic names.
Beautiful.
So mine, in particular, means true believer, and I was like, oh my God, that's perfect. And in Arabic, it's pronounced Hanifa. So I was like, okay, perfect. I can still have my name in there, but you know, yeah. So
true believer. Woo!
Yeah, true believer. So I got my name, and I started figuring things out, and then I launched my first collection. I mean, I don't even know how to say this. It kind of just happened. It just literally happened, and I just got to work, and I just started to, you know, figure it out on my own and try to just create my own blueprint.
Really. Yes, you really did, and it's really awesome to watch your rise in particular, because there's something about your business mind that is so smart and strategic, because I remember I came to your apartment and you were doing your photo shoots out of your apartment. Your one side was, you had your room for all the clothes, and then the other side was like the kitchen. And then I was like, wait, this is the wall that all of the photo shoots are taken on.
Yeah.
And you knew when it was time to get a store, and now you're on your second location, and the way that your business mind works is so dope. Do you just trust your gut? Like, how do you go about making decisions on when is the right time to move up to the next level or make that right statement for yourself?
To be honest, a lot of people ask me this question, and I think, the only way I can answer it is say it's Christ, to be honest, because sometimes I really don't know where it comes from. And, I pray a lot, I meditate a lot. I read a lot. So it's just like one of those things where it's like, ever since I've started this journey with Christ, I've learned that you have to rely on him. Like,
Amen.
You got to give all your plans to him. You have to talk about your ups and downs with him. You got to praise him even when it's hard.
Yeah.
A lot of times I feel like because of that, he's been literally laying my steps in front of me. Like, things happen and I'm just like, whew, I don't want to get emotional, but
please do, because we got time today. We ain't going nowhere.
Things happen and I'm speechless every single time. There was even a time, like, in my career where, like, I would have dreams and visions of, like, what he wants me to make. I would wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, shoot, I gotta sketch this. I have to do this. I have to do that. And it's like every single time it's like tunnel vision. And in the beginning of my journey in my career, I used to get frustrated when I would have creative blocks. And I'm just like, what is this? And I'm like, you know what? It's cool. Because I know, like, when the time is right, the Lord will speak to me and I'm going to just start moving. And
that's good.
He's just so good. He's just so good. And
when the time is right, the Lord will speak to me and I will just start moving. I got to ask you, so when did you, so we all, grow up, a lot of people grow up with their parents who teach them about belief and spirituality. I know you said your father was originally in Islam, in the Islamic belief, but when did you have your relationship? Like, when did you have your moment where you knew God was real, when you knew Jesus was real? What was that transformative moment for you?
It was, because I grew up in a household so my mom actually converted to Christianity first. So I grew up in a household in the beginning. It was kind of confusing because my dad was Muslim, my mom was Christian, and a lot of different things. So I used to, we went to the mosque, I used to fast and all that stuff, but I didn't really feel a connection. So in 2004, my brother was murdered in White Oak.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And I think I was probably like 13 at the time. And my dad had a friend in Dubai. He's been friends with him for like 20 plus years. He was like, I'm so sorry this has happened to your family. I have some business plans, some ideas. I would love for your entire family to come to Dubai. And my dad was like, sure. So we moved there for a year. And ironically, I found Christ. Well, I started to learn more about Christ in a Muslim country. So that's when I really started to go to church. I started to like understand what worship music was and things like that. But I completely gave my life to Jesus in 2015. And I remember, you know how it is when you're like, when you become a believer, you're just like infatuated with it.
Yeah.
You want to read all the time. You want to worship all the time. You want to praise all the time. So, and this year in particular was such a tough year for me because this is a year where I actually quit Hanifa. I was like, I'm done with Hanifa. What?
Hold on.
I was like, it's a long story.
Why don't? No, I need the spark notes because what? You were about to end Hanifa, the brand.
No, I did. I actually did. I was like, I'm done. For the entire year of 2015, I didn't do anything Hanifa related. like
Okay.
absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
And what changed that?
So, you know, I gave my life to Christ. I started soul searching. I was like, Lord, like, how am I going to worship you? How can I serve you by making clothes? Like, how does this work? And this is me asking myself, praying about it, and just trying to like discover who I am in Christ. Because you know, a lot of times we feel like as Christians, if you want to serve the Lord, you have to work in the church. You have to be a pastor. You have to be a leader. I even joined the worship team. I was on the worship team, and but I'm everything. I mean, all roads were literally pointing back to Hanifa. Like everything. Like people, I'm talking about people I've never met. People who probably aren't even on social media. I actually wasn't even on social media during this time. Were coming up to me and like, hey, you know, the Lord spoke to me. He was telling me about this brand and this vision, and every time I'm just like, I'm trying to get away from this thing, and it's following me. And I remember this prayer, and I was just like, Lord, like, you know, I get it. Fine, I'll do this thing. Okay, I get it. And I also realized that, you know, I started to understand that God is also a creator. Like he is like an artist. Like there's room for creatives in the kingdom. And
yes, God.
You know, you can look outside and you see how beautiful it is. You see the colors, you see everything. God created everything. So he's an artist too. He's a creative too. So it's just like we do have a place in the kingdom. So I was like, okay, God, I get it, you know. And I call it finding, you know, I found my creative identity in Christ. So then I was just like, okay, God, I'm going to go back in. But, you know, I was just like, I need something. Like, give me that thing that I can, you know, come back with that will be better than it was when I first started. And that's when I launched my first shoe. And then that's when it went viral. And then things just went up from that point on. But yeah, that's how I
That is crazy.
Yeah.
What made you want to quit? Was it just that things weren't moving in the way that you thought? What was the thinking then that was like, okay, I'm done?
I think, you know, I think as entrepreneurs and business owners, we have to be honest about our journey, especially for the people who are aspiring to be like us or they want to do what we're doing. Like I struggled really bad. You know, I didn't, you know, I thought I knew business, but I didn't. Like my customer service was horrible. You know, my financial management was horrible. It was so many things that I started to realize I wasn't good at. And it was affecting my business and also my mental health. And it was just like so many different things. So I was just like, you know what? I don't want to do this. This is too much.
Too much.
It was way too much. And I think when I came back in 2016, I just reevaluated myself. You know? I learned from my mistakes. I started building a team and I started learning how to manage my finances. You know, I started understanding customer service better. Like I had my fair share of terrible customer service, but now we don't have that issue anymore because we've learned from our mistakes or whatever. But it was just a lot. It was too much. It was too much. So I quit.
And then God literally was like, nah, sis, what you won't do
like,
is
it's time to come back. So
that's beautiful.
I came back and
in 2016, and it is now the middle of 2020, and your show has inspired the brands that have been around since the 1930s and 40s, which is so crazy. And I want to get to that a little later because I think what you said was so important about building a team. I don't think people realize how lonely entrepreneurship can be and how overwhelming it can be because you essentially are your brand, the face of your brand, the person who architects the brand, the person who has to figure out how to move financially. And if you didn't go to business school, and if you didn't understand, and even in business school, they can't really teach you, they can try, but they can't really teach you all the aspects of what it takes to be like a solopreneur in this day and age, because there's social media you have to manage. Like you literally cannot be successful without a team at this point. And you can, but as things start to grow, you really need that advisory board at least to have. So how did you go about building your team? Where is the starting point, or who was that first person that helped you build your team?
I really started with like interns, and I think I've been through, we all want to, well, most of us or some of us, we want to work with our friends, but
Yes.
sometimes, it doesn't always, it's not always the best thing to do. So I've also like lost friendships, through the process, and I'm still grateful for those times, and I've learned so much from that. But I was also like kind of scared to really hire someone because I didn't know if I could afford it, to be completely honest.
Girl,
You know,
yes.
as entrepreneurs, like, we're like, okay, I'm going to cut costs here and I'm going to do everything by myself. But in reality, you're really burning yourself out if you're doing everything. And that's what was happening to me. So I first hired a friend of mine who was like my financial advisor, and he was helping me like manage my finances, solidify my business structure, everything. And he was giving me really great advice. And he was just like, don't be afraid of that, because when you hire that person, they're actually an investment and they're going to help you. They're going to help you with your business. So you have to look at it that way. And after that, I hired, who was the first person that I fully hired? Was my sister, actually. Yes. She came on board as my operations, and I'm talking about like, it was like a significant difference. Like sales went up by like 400% because she was handling like customer service, shipment and fulfillments and all this stuff. And I'm just like, whoa.
Right.
Had I have known, I would have done this a long time ago. So I started like building a team of people, and then she moved on from customer service. Then we hired a customer service person. And then we started hiring fulfillment. So now she manages like the manufacturing side, and runs the showroom. So yeah, we've been building a team, and it's extremely helpful.
Yes.
It's literally an investment. So yeah.
I love that. Yes, you and your sister I love meeting your sister and your mom. I love meeting your family because it is just such a beautiful tribe of people that you have that love you and support you and cheer you on. And I think it's so beautiful to see how you guys move as a unit. Like I just live for just watching you all. Even you and your sister are so cute. Y'all have like the same face, and it's just great. And it's just so great to see, because I think that's so awesome. And when you hired your sister, though, was it characteristics that you knew like you didn't have, and so you were able to like help her? Like, what made you want to work with your sister? Because working with family is also not easy. Like sometimes that can get crazy. So how do you guys manage that?
Well, so she worked with me before, and it didn't work out. And I think it's just really timing. We were both in different places in our lives. The business was in a different place at that time. And I know her well, and I know her strengths and weaknesses, and I know mine. So I think we just somehow made it work. And if you were to come to the showroom and see how she works, you wouldn't even know she's my sister, because she treats it as if it's her own business. And I really, really like, I admire that so much, and she's so hardworking. But yeah, I think it's just about timing, because I think, we were both back then, we were both in completely different places, and now we're like matured and we're like women.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah.
I love that. That's the key. That one of the things you said was she treats your business like it's her business. She understands the power behind Hanifa the brand and what you all are doing. And my friend Isis just said in the comments, like, how God is using you is he's literally making women feel beautiful. And like the tagline says on your tags now, fearfully and wonderfully made by the clothes that you make. Like that is so awesome to see. And so when identifying an entrepreneur, or I know there are so many people in here who want to be entrepreneurs, what do you think are some of the best characteristics to have to really understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur? What are some of those things that you really believe entrepreneurs need?
I think discipline is like a major one. You have to be extremely disciplined, and you have to have discernment, because there are so many people that are going to come and you know, they'll tell you things or they'll try to take advantage of you. And I think it's really important to be able to kind of just know like who's for you and who's not for you. Because I think I've also had my fair share of that, and also just being organized.
Girl, that's my problem. I'd be like, wait, I think I put that over there. I don't know. How were you always an organized person? And if not, how did you become better at being organized?
Okay, I'm not, but I'm learning how to. And then I hired my amazing Sophia. I said amazing Sophia. She is my amazing Sophia, but my assistant Sophia, like, she got me together.
Yes.
And I think it's really important to be like real with yourself too, and just like know what you're good at and what you're not good at too at the same time. So Sophia is like that missing piece. Like, she's literally like so good at what she does. Like, she keeps me together. She plans my schedule. She does everything pretty much. I love that. Yeah, I think it's really important to analyze, you know, your skill sets and, you know, what you're good at and what you're not good at, and then hire out what you're not good at.
Okay, I'm gonna sit down because I'm in the process of convincing myself that I need help, because you know how sometimes as Black women we're like, girl, I don't need no help. We have been trained to kind of think that we can do it all on our own, which is not necessarily it's not really a sustainable thing, because we might have seen our parents do it. We might have seen so many of our mothers and aunts and cousins do it, but it's not sustainable. And I think it's something that I'm trying to get out of, in that headspace of like feeling like I can do it all by myself, because I literally can't. I need help. And I'm like, but it's hard to identify, especially for me. Like, if I put out a call that I need help, what I notice is I get a lot of young women who are awesome, but they want to be talent. So it's like, I can't really bring you onto my team, because I know that at the end of the day, you want to be talent, right? So you being my assistant might be great for like that moment, but secretly I know that you're kind of like trying to take the blueprint and not really here to be an assistant. And there is no blueprint. And I believe in shadowing and all that stuff. Like, you know, when I have a job to go to, I don't mind bringing some girls every now and then, girls that I know and can trust. But when building a team, though, how do you identify like who wants to be there for your good and who's there for themselves?
Honestly, when I started, like, I guess hiring and filtering out people or options, you know, at first it was just like, you know, someone would come and they're like, oh my God, I love fashion and I love this. And I'm like, oh my God, she's perfect. She's cute. She could dress, all that. Great. But then it's like, I didn't really ask the real questions. Like, you have to ask those hard, real questions. Like, okay, like, what does this look like? Like, what do you do? You know, what would you not do for money? Or, you know, just like, you have to, like, honestly, it's your process, it's your interview process. You have to ask those real questions.
Yeah. And, it has to be real.
Yeah, you got to be real. You got to keep it real all the time, because people are going to come and they just want to, you know, be on Instagram, or they want to go to, I don't know, to one of the events that you post or whatever. But you just have to ask the hard questions, honestly.
Yeah, because you'll be able to see how people really think. Yes, I love that. And so, so back to the story. Now Hanifa is off the ground. We are in the Karuches wearing our tops. We have Angela Rye in them, Lala's wearing them. What was that moment where you, what do you think was, before this show, the breaking point for Hanifa? What was the moment where you were like, okay, this is actually the brand that I know that I can have for the rest of my life, or one of the first brands that I know I can start?
I'm like my biggest critic. Like, I'm super hard on myself, like, constantly. And that's how I like keep myself on my toes. But to be honest, the biggest moment for me was probably when we grossed $1 million in revenue within a year. And I was just like, okay. So this is like a business.
Right.
This is like a real, like, this is like real. I think that was like the moment for me when I was just like, wow. Like,
yes.
Wow.
Yes. I love that. And so and even my friend Asha's in here. She said when Sierra wore your red pants, that was crazy too. Yes, like that is one of the greatest things that I've seen. Just the way that Black women who are also celebrities or talent support your brand has been beautiful to see as well. What has been one of your favorite Hanifa wearing moments? What has been one of those favorite polls for you?
I think Sierra was like a huge one for me. Because I love Sierra. We all know we used to dance in front of TV when her videos used to play.
Girl, I mean, when O came out, I still know the choreo.
Yeah, I still love Sierra, and I think that was like a huge moment for me. I'm trying to think. Oh, the first celebrity that actually wore Hanifa was Fantasia.
Wow, that's right.
In 2016, she wore it. It was like her new album, and she actually wore it on TV on BT. So that was really cool. That was actually
awesome. I love that. Somebody asked a question that said, "Was the $1 million revenue in the first year or later on?" So, what year was the $1 million in revenue for you?
That was last year.
Last year, okay.
That was 2019. Yeah, that was 2019.
Beautiful. Okay, so back to the questions. And so at this point, I think what's really awesome to see about your growth is that you're so open about your relationship with God. And I think a lot of people feel like they can't navigate any industries and keep God first unless, like you said, you work in gospel music or you are a gospel stylist or you are in the church. What about why aren't you afraid to share your faith? Like, what about it is one of those things that you're just like, absolutely not, I will always share that God is the head of my life?
I think I found so much confidence in Christ. I found myself in Christ, so it's just like one of those things that I feel like I can't hide because it's like, it's a part of me, and this is why we're here, is to give him all the glory. So why not? This is what I'm supposed to do. This is like my calling. I'm supposed to tell the world, like, this is the Lord's doing. This is where I get my strength from. This is where I get my creativity from. So it's just like, you have to.
I love that. This is where I get my strength from. That's your source is everything. I think that is so beautiful to see. And then your source, then God led you to create the Pink Label collection, which is the most beautiful collection. I have been like, I can't wait. Like, let me know when it comes to the store. I'm gonna try on everything. I cannot wait to have it on me. Like, it is such a beautiful moment. But tell me tell me more. I know we all watched the show, but tell me more about how the digital show came together. How did you get people involved? What in your brain said, okay, just because nobody's here doesn't mean we can't have a show during quarantine. Tell me what the process of creating this game-changing digital fashion show was about.
I mean, I don't know. My creative process is so like weird and complex, but I've been planning to launch this collection since November of last year. So I started designing last year, and I was trying to decide on how I wanted to show. So we were really planning to show this fall for New York Fashion Week. And for obvious reasons, things happen and we can't do it anymore. So if you follow the Hanifa page, and you've seen like how we've been utilizing the 3D technology with like the floating garments, the colored background, and things like that. But I really was like thinking about how can I make these garments move? Is there a way for us to like animate them, or is there a way for us to show movement so that our customers are able to see how it would fall on the body or their body types? And I started doing my research, and like every now and then I'll look into it, and then I'll get back to work. And it wasn't really until the pandemic when I really started to like study the 3D technology. And I was just like, okay, so I have time. And I found myself like reading and watching videos and looking for books on Amazon. And then next thing I knew, I was doing full-blown photo shoots on the computer.
Right.
And I'm just like, this is like a whole nother world. I was
Ooh.
like, this is insane. So I mean, hours. I was up all hours of the night, just like practicing. And I even have friends that I would send stuff to, and I finally shared it with my team, and I was just like, "What do you guys think about this?" They're like, "What is this?" I'm just like, "It's a 3D girl wearing Hanifa," and they were like, "Oh my gosh, we have to post this." And mind you, at this time, this is like when the pandemic happened, and like everyone is frantic, you know, like it's just a crazy time. We can't shoot, we had to cancel everything, you know, sales were down. And I'm just like, yo, we gotta do something. So I was like, great, we're gonna do a test run, we're gonna post this on Instagram and just see what happens and see if people would notice. And when we did post it on Instagram, it was just like, whoa.
Right.
It was like the conversion to sales one was crazy, and then like, you know, everyone really loved it. So it was really good feedback. So and there were like a couple of people that were like, hey, is this a digital model? And we were like deleting comments because it was like a test run for us. So we didn't want someone to kind of blow our cover. So we were just testing, and it did really well. So I was like, okay, I'm going to keep doing this while researching how this animation thing worked. And I remember watching Star Wars with a friend, the most recent one that came out, and he was telling me how one of the characters died like a couple years ago, and I was just like, well, then who am I watching on the screen? And he was like, oh, I think it's like 3D or something. And I was just like, okay, so it is possible. So then I started doing my research, and we put together a great team of animators because, you know, I understand the 3D technology, but, you know, I was limited. So I was like, let me get someone on board who's really skilled and knows what they're doing. So we got a plan together, we got a vision together, and then I remember I was watching Versus, and it was T-Pain and Lil Jon, I think.
Oh,
and
wow.
I just remember seeing so many people on. I'm just like, yo, everybody is on their phones.
Yeah.
Everybody is on their phones. And I'm just like, you know what? Screw Fashion Week. We're going to do a fashion show now, like right now. And I didn't even know it would be possible to do what we did on Instagram. But when I want something, I'm gonna go after it until I get it. So I started researching and like digging and finding all these different things, and I was like, boom, we got it. I know how we can live stream on Instagram. And then we had a date, and we just got to work, and it was such a tedious process. You know, a lot of people would say, oh, this, you know, it's easier because it's 3D, but it was really important for me to make sure that the clothing really, you know, it looked exactly like what the physical garment would look like. So I'm talking about like the detailing, the stitching, the buttons, everything. And there were times where we were testing out the animation where the model will start to walk and the clothing will fall to the ground because we didn't stitch it correctly, or, you know, it was so many different things and so many different layers. So it was really tedious. Like, I mean, I was so stressed, but I'm grateful that we were able to get it done. We were working up until the very last second of the show, like the very last second, and we were able to get it done. And honestly speaking, it was a creative expression. I was not thinking that, you know, people were going to be like, oh my God, this is so groundbreaking. I was just like, look, this is just
what I want to do.
This is just us sharing our collection to the world, and we weren't prepared for the aftermath at all. Like, I think it was like a moment of silence. It was like a moment of silence. Like when it happened, like all like the entire team, like on Zoom, and we were just like, what just happened?
Yeah.
It was literally just like that. We were just like, whoa, like wow. It was insane. It was crazy.
So you finished watching the show. You guys have your day. So at this point, you said you got back on Zoom. You were on Zoom the whole time, or
we were on Zoom. So we were on Zoom. A couple of us were also at the same place, just making sure that, you know,
it all ran smoothly.
Yeah, exactly. But it was like, I mean, I'm even thinking about it. I'm just like, it was so crazy.
Who was the first call where you knew, like, okay, Hanifa is, forget 1 million. We about to do, we might do 1 billion this year. Like, who was the first call after that show that made you realize how important what you did what you had just done was?
I mean, it was like an explosion. There was so many people reaching out to me, so many publications. I can't even like it was so many. Like
Yeah.
once I saw it on CNN, I was just like, okay, this is crazy. This is crazy.
You was on CNN. I didn't even see the CNN. That's
yeah,
crazy.
it was like BBC Africa. It was like so many different things, and I'm just like, yo, like what just happened?
Right. And so now that we are, what, has it been a month since you debuted it, or 3 weeks?
It's been a month. It's been a
Yeah.
month. It was May 22nd. So
Wow.
yeah, it's been a month.
Been officially a month. Looking back, what are you feeling now about the show and how it impacted your brand? Like, what are you feeling as the creator of this now worldwide known brand that has influenced not only like fashion online, like the fashion industry at large? What do you feel as this person who just sent a text like, hey guys, I think this could work?
I'm still like, honestly, we're still like coming down. We're finally getting grounded, and I think Hanifa will never be the same.
It's literally gone. It's
literally, that's it. It would never be the same, and I'm just really excited for the future, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the Lord's gonna do and what we're gonna do next, because I'm scared.
Girl,
I'm scared.
Well, one thing I know, and just from watching you and knowing you all these years, is that like you don't, even if you like might present scared, there's not going to be a moment where you don't consider God and what he has for you. And so the way that you've just been able to consider him and keep him first is such a testament to how far your business has gone. I don't think people really understand. I think they understand it now, but even just 3-4 weeks ago, the difference between Hanifa at the top of quarantine and the Hanifa now, girl,
it's like completely different. Completely different. Like, yeah, it's mind blowing. Like I was at the showroom a couple days ago, and we're like about to outgrow that space. And
wow.
I'm speechless.
You need a building, sis. Just get a building. You need a whole building at this point. Yeah. And look, start to go GoFundMe. We'll do it. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about perseverance, because your story is one also of really ensuring that you stay focused and on this grind no matter what happens. And I don't think people realize how easy it is to give up. Like, we all know how easy it is to give up. But when those moments, what does your prayer look like to stay focused? What is your prayer to God when you feel like you are at your wit's end of working?
I really just ask for his strength, because, that's when he really works, is when we're weak. So in those weak moments, I really just ask him to like lift me up and to just like lead me and remind me of why I started, remind me of the vision that he gave me at the beginning. I think, when I talk to a lot of like my mentees, or because I teach now some of my students, I always tell them to write things down, because, you are going to have those moments where it's tough. Like, look at me, I actually quit. But being reminded of those things, that why you started, and your vision, and all those things are so important, and they actually keep you motivated, and they help you.
Yeah.
And just having faith, and I think those things are really important.
That's beautiful. Avenue N said, as a small business, what system do you use to pay your employees? And do you do a percentage of sales, salaries, etc.?
I don't do a percentage of sales. I do salary, and we use Intuit QuickBooks. It's actually integrated with my Bank of America. Yeah, that's what we use. And I have a really, really, really good accountant. who is phenomenal, and she keeps me in check too.
Come on, that's another person I need. I need an accountant.
I could give you like, she's good.
Please,
okay. She's out here in PG. She's really good.
Oh, girl. Okay, I'm gonna text you. Okay, yeah. The next question is from Vic. Hey, Vic. What's your biggest vision for yourself and your brand right now?
I think in the beginning it was like celebrities and making X amount of dollars every year. You know, you get to those points and those milestones, and you want more. I think we're always going to want more each and every single time. And I was trying to figure out how I can always feel like full or fulfilled and serving. So I really hope that I can make an impact and help emerging designers, which is why I started my initiative, CBYAM.
Hello.
To really like help emerging designers, because when I started, it was so difficult. Like, I had to figure out so many different things, and like it was just such a long, lonely road. And I would love to be someone's help, someone's mentor. I would love to teach someone. I would love to give them resources. Just, you know, it's so fulfilling to me. I actually just had a call with a mentee like right before this, and after the call, I'm just like, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm helping someone build their brand and launch their collection. And I think, you know, I'm hoping that we can do more of that and also serve our community. So I just really want to serve.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I'm so proud of you, because you are in the midst of receiving such blessings, but you are also so intentional about being a blessing too. And it's just so awesome to see you do that. For young women who do want to try and get to it, what do they do? Just follow you from your personal page and connect that way?
Yeah, if you for my personal page, there's like a I think it's in my bio, so you could just go there. The website link is there, and you can just check it out. And yeah,
girl, y'all better get this good teaching from our sis. Okay, this is incredible. Oh, okay, this is a good one. Someone says, how did you get started? Kamala, I think that's how we say her name. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. She said, how did you get started in fashion without any fashion connections?
Oh, that's a good question. So I've really, I started studying Instagram and how it worked. When I started my brand, it was like, you know, the algorithm was a lot different than it is now. So I understood how, you know, if Gia liked my picture, then her X amount of followers, they might see it. And then if they like it, then their people will see it. And then I was just like, okay, cool. So I'm just going to focus on my branding and my visuals. So I started teaching myself photography. I started teaching myself graphic design, Photoshop, so many different things. And I really started to work on my visuals. And I wanted to make sure, like, you know, if you see a Hanifa picture, you got to have it.
Yeah.
You won't even think twice. You have to have it. You have to have it. So I worked on my visuals, and, you know, I started getting contacted by stylists and celebrities, and that's just literally how it happened.
Y'all better take notes. That's so smart. Even it's just so beautiful to see how the thread always goes back to you were a kid who was interested into seeing how things came apart and put back together. Like, that is literally how you've been able to be so successful, because you just are a student. That's so cool to see.
I'm always learning. It's always like it's just, I love it. It's just, I mean, come on.
I mean, how could you not?
I just love learning.
Yeah. Oh, that's a gem, y'all. Always stay a student. There's always something to learn. Even when Beyonce puts your site in her Black Parade, honey, you can still learn. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? Like, when you saw that Beyonce?
Okay, let me catch my breath. That was crazy. I was just like, how did this happen? Beyonce, you see us. We see you too, girl.
Okay, we need Beyonce in the pink label Congo collection. Thank you.
Yeah. We're working on it, so hopefully we can get her into something soon.
Perfect. Look, Zerlina, she probably already got it on. Already has it. Where do you find inspiration, especially when you have creative blocks from Lynn Monet?
Okay. I used to travel a lot, but now I'm like terrified of flying. But
Girl, aren't we all?
travel, like I watch a lot of movies, old movies. I get inspiration from so many different things. And I'm trying to think, magazines, books, like literally anything. Yeah.
I
That's
love
pretty
that.
much it. Yeah, nothing really crazy, but yeah.
Okay. This is a good question.
Okay.
Someone I believe Alibi Alabi says, loved Pink Label Congo. What do you think is the next step for fashion to authentically pursue justice?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right?
I think as designers, I think the fashion industry, I think the fashion industry is getting a big reset right now. And I think a lot of brands, companies, I think we have a responsibility to do. We need to pay attention to what's happening in the world. And I think we need to share our stories. And I feel like in terms of Black Lives Matter, I think a lot of people and companies in the fashion industry need to be honest about how they've been operating. Because I think, it's cool to post a black square or to post a fist and say Black Lives Matter, but I think it's really important to just be honest and just be like, look, we've messed up. We've been operating this way.
Yep.
But how can we move forward? But like, what can we do to make things better? And I think that's really important. I think it's really about being honesty and actually honest and having a plan on how we can move forward.
That's beautiful. This is beautiful. I just have loved this whole day. Okay, so guys, please follow Anifa. Yes, she does have a mentorship program because we've been talking about it, honey. I know you might have just got in here, sis, but yes, she has a mentorship program for up and coming fashion designers, and she's gonna save the world. I just believe Anifa for president. I just am proud of you. Everything you do and the way your mind works. I'm just so honored that I got to talk to you for longer than 20 minutes that we usually do. I'm just so happy for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really enjoyed this.
I'm gonna have you back, sis, because the way that the way that you just talked about it was beautiful. And so I would just love for everybody to please continue to support the Hanifa official brand. And if you don't have any Hanifa, go to the site right now, honey, because it's gonna be sold out. You about to be selling out everything, okay?
Yeah.
But guys, we hope you learned a lot. I love you, my girl, and I will talk to you very soon.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.